I know it sounds crazy, but yes, my mom really sold my $15,000 birthday gift. And no, it wasn't because we were broke. She did it to buy my sister a handbag. A handbag! Let me back up a little. My name's Erica. I'm 26 years old. I work in IT, mostly freelance, so I save like crazy. I don't party, I don't splurge, and I sure as hell don't go out buying luxury items for myself. I've been putting money away since I was 17 because I wanted to buy myself something special when I turned 25. Something meaningful, something that celebrated all the sacrifices I'd made. That something ended up being a custom-designed MacBook Pro. Top specs, maxed out memory, full setup with a monitor, mechanical keyboard, ergonomic chair. The whole deal cost me over $15,000. I worked like a dog for it, and it was a gift to myself. But somehow, it ended up in my sister's Instagram stories. She was flaunting a Chanel handbag with a stupid caption like, "Spoiled, always." I stared at the post for 10 whole seconds before I realized something was off. The lighting, the background. That wasn't her room. That was mine. I rushed home, heart racing. My workstation, my pride, my reward, my sanity was completely gone. Every last piece. There was a handwritten note taped to my empty desk. "Erica, I know you'll understand. Jenny has been so stressed lately. This will make her feel special. You're strong. She's sensitive. You'll bounce back. Love, Mom." Bounce back? From 15 grand worth of my equipment being sold behind my back. I don't think I even screamed. I just sat down on the floor, stared at that note, let the silence fill every corner of the room until it hurt to breathe. My sister Jenny is 22. She's what my mom calls a free spirit, which is just a nice way of saying she does nothing and expects everything. She tried 3 different majors and dropped out of college each time. She gets jobs, posts about them online like she's living her dream, and then quits 2 weeks later. Her whole personality is curated for Instagram. She's an influencer in progress, according to herself. I, on the other hand, never asked for much. I was the smart one, the responsible one, the one who could handle disappointment. That night, I didn't eat. I couldn't. I kept thinking about all the months I lived off ramen and canned tuna, just so I could save a little more. All the birthdays I skipped, the dinners I turned down. And for what? So my mom could strip me of it all in one day. For her? I confronted Mom the next morning. She was sitting on the couch, sipping coffee like it was any other Wednesday. "Where's my setup?" I asked quietly. She didn't even flinch. "I sold it. Jenny's been having such a hard time. She needed something to boost her confidence." "A handbag, Mom? Are you kidding me?" "She's going through a phase, Erica. She needs love, not judgment. And you're always so harsh with her. This was a gesture. I paid for that setup. With my money, my work." She set her cup down, looked me dead in the eyes. "You always recover. Jenny doesn't. You'll thank me one day." That's when it hit me. I wasn't the daughter. I was the fallback plan, the backup generator, the one they plugged into when the real star of the family needed the spotlight. And no one even bothered to ask me. I packed a small bag and left that night. Moved into my friend Mia's guest room. Slept on a fold-out couch for a while. Told her I just needed space to sort out some things. Didn't say anything about the $15,000 betrayal. Not at first. Because admitting that your own mother did that to you? That felt like saying you don't matter. But the worst part wasn't even the money. It was the silence. Jenny never called. Mom didn't message. It was as if I'd disappeared. And they were fine with it. Until a few weeks later, when the twist started brewing, it began with one innocent DM from Jenny. "Hey, sis, do you still have that camera set up? The one you used for YouTube stuff? I'm thinking of starting my own channel." I didn't reply, but I started planning. Because if being the strong one means getting stepped on quietly, then maybe it was time to stop being quiet. When I didn't answer Jenny's DM, she followed up with a voice note. "I know you're upset," she said, in that sugar-sweet tone she used whenever she wanted something. "But you always said you wanted me to do something creative. Well, here's my chance. I could really use your help." Help! The same person who never even asked where I went when I left home was now asking for help. I didn't respond, but that message, it didn't piss me off. Not really. It clarified something. They didn't miss me. They just missed what I could give them. The next few days were weird. Quiet, but heavy. I went on long walks, watched couples laughing over iced coffee, people pushing strollers, a guy playing guitar by the fountain, singing off-key, but with his whole soul. And I realized something. I had built my entire life around being useful to people who never even saw me. I'd always been the fixer. The one who patched things up, paid bills, picked up pieces, and when I finally did something for myself, saved up, invested in my dream setup, they took it like it was nothing. That realization broke something in me. And strangely, it also fixed something. I started sleeping better. I stopped checking my phone every hour, hoping for some kind of apology. I deleted Jenny's stories from my feed. And then I got a message from my old professor saying a startup he consulted for was looking for a remote content developer. It wasn't a dream job, but it was steady, well-paid, and most importantly, it was mine. No strings, no emotional landmines. I took it. That first paycheck felt surreal. Not because of the money, but because for the first time in a long time, I was doing something that didn't come with emotional baggage. No guilt, no manipulation, just work, my work. I spent the next few weeks building a little nest egg. I found a refurbished setup online. Nothing fancy, just enough to get by. Mia helped me decorate a corner of her guest room like a mini studio. We joked it was Erica's war room. But deep down, I knew it wasn't a joke. Because I was planning something. Not revenge, not exactly, just justice. Meanwhile, Jenny kept posting her usual fluff. Unboxings, get ready with me, posing in outfits she hadn't paid for. And then one day, I got a text. From Mom. "Erica, I need you to come home. It's important." For a second, my heart jumped. I thought, maybe she gets it now. Maybe she's finally ready to talk. I went. Big mistake. The house looked the same, but colder. Jenny was lounging on the couch in my old hoodie, one I'd spent months knitting by hand during lockdown. Mom was in the kitchen, looking stressed. I waited for something. An apology. An explanation. Anything. Instead, Mom sat me down and said, "Jenny's trying to get a brand deal, but she needs a better camera. Do you think you could lend her yours?" I blinked. "You mean the one I just spent weeks rebuilding? She only needs it for a few days. It's not a big deal. I mean, you're not even shooting content right now, right?" I laughed. I actually laughed. That ugly, painful laugh that sounds more like choking. "No," I said, "you don't get to ask that." "Don't be selfish," Mom snapped. "You've always been so dramatic." Something snapped in me then. Not anger, not sadness, just clarity. I stood up. "You know what's dramatic, Mom? Stealing your daughter's property and selling it for a purse. That's dramatic. Letting her sleep on a couch for weeks while you pamper the one who never lifts a finger? That's insane. You didn't even ask me how I've been." She crossed her arms. "You're twisting things. I did what I had to. Jenny, I don't care about Jenny," I said. Not anymore. That was the first time I'd ever said it out loud. It felt like breathing after years underwater. Jenny didn't say anything, just stared at her phone like none of this mattered. Of course it didn't. I wasn't useful anymore. I walked out, didn't slam the door, didn't cry. I just walked. And in that moment, I knew I would never go back. They had lost me. And this time, it wasn't temporary. I went home to Mia's place, opened my laptop, and started something new. A project, something I'd kept on the back burner for months. A video series about women who get pushed to the side and quietly take the world back. It was personal, but also universal. I didn't use my name. I just told stories. And to my surprise, people started watching, then subscribing, then writing back. Turns out, there are a lot of people out there who know exactly what it feels like to be the responsible one, the one who never gets picked. And this time, I wasn't fixing anyone's life. I was building my own. The thing about healing is, it doesn't always feel like a big moment. Sometimes, it's just a quiet shift, like when your favorite song doesn't make you cry anymore, or when you stop checking to see if they've texted you. That's what the next few months were like. Quiet, uneventful, and yet, I was becoming someone else. I stopped asking why they hurt me. I started asking what I could build from it. The YouTube channel took off faster than I expected. It wasn't fancy. No dramatic intros, no makeup tutorials, no trend chasing. Just me, telling real stories. Stories about betrayal, survival, reclaiming power. I never showed my face. I kept it anonymous. But somehow, people found it anyway. Women messaged me. Men too. People from all over the world. I thought I was the only one. I haven't talked to my mom in years either. I gave everything to my family. They left me with nothing. Each comment was like a tiny piece of armor. I didn't feel so naked anymore. The channel hit 10,000 subs in 5 weeks, then 25,000. Then sponsors came knocking. I turned most of them down, especially the fake empowerment ones. But one offer caught my eye, a small brand run by women, focused on reclaiming identity after toxic family dynamics. I said yes, not just because of the money, because it felt aligned. Like the universe was saying, keep going. I upgraded my gear, quietly. Bought a better mic, better camera, lights, background filters. Invested in editing software. And I never said a word to my mom or Jenny. Because they didn't ask. They didn't care. Until one day, Mia handed me her phone. You might want to see this. It was Jenny, live streaming from her car, crying. Apparently, the brand collab she'd been bragging about had pulled out. Some old screenshots surfaced. Tweets where she mocked other creators, made tone-deaf jokes, called people tryhards with sob stories. The brand said they didn't want that kind of energy representing them. She was losing followers, fast. But she wasn't upset about the fallout. She was upset about me. She's spreading lies, Jenny said into the camera. I know those stories are about me. She's jealous. She always has been. I'm not the villain, she is. I stared at the screen. My name wasn't mentioned, but it didn't have to be. She knew. And now, so did Mom. A few days later, another text from Mom. We need to talk. Think you've made your point. I almost laughed. My point? Was this all just a game to her? I didn't reply. Instead, I poured everything into the channel. Started a mini-series. The Ones Who Were Left Behind. It wasn't about my family, not directly. But the timing, it wasn't lost on anyone. The channel passed 100,000 subscribers. I got invited to speak on a panel, virtual, but still surreal. They called me an advocate for emotional independence. I just called it telling the truth no one wants to admit. And one night, as I was editing a video about parental favoritism and adult estrangement, I got an email. Subject line, we'd like to buy your story. Or a small indie studio wanted to option a script based on one of my anonymous videos. They loved the tone, the raw honesty, the twist. They didn't know it was me. Not yet. But they would. And that's when I knew. I was no longer running from my story. I was owning it. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about restoration. Still, part of me wondered, what would happen when they really found out? Not just guessed, but knew. I didn't have to wait long. 2 weeks later, I got another message. Not a DM, a voicemail. From Mom. Her voice was tight, cold. I don't know what you think you're doing, Erica, but this has gone too far. You're ruining this family's name. Jenny can't show her face online anymore. Are you happy now? There it was. Not, I'm sorry. Not, I didn't know you were hurting. Just shame. But not for what they did, for how I responded. That voicemail didn't make me angry. It made me clear. Clear that I would never be that daughter again. The one who stays silent for peace that never existed. The one who gets hurt, then hugs it out because family is family. No, not anymore. I wrote back a one-line email, just one sentence. You taught me that silence was survival. Now I know that truth is freedom. And I meant every word, because for the first time in my life, I didn't want to be accepted. I wanted to be authentic. I didn't plan to see them again, not in person, not ever. But life has a funny way of testing you, and sometimes it sets the perfect stage. It was my cousin's wedding. An outdoor event, vineyard backdrop, fancy decor. Everyone dressed like they were attending a royal ceremony. I almost didn't go, but my aunt, Dad's side, the only one who ever really saw me, called and said, "You should come. People need to see how far you've come, even if they'll never admit it." So I went, not for revenge, for closure. I wore a simple black pantsuit. No flashy jewelry, no designer bag. Just clean, confident lines, and a presence I had earned. Not inherited. Mia came with me. She was the only one who knew the full story, start to finish. She whispered as we walked toward the open courtyard. "You don't have to say anything, just exist. That'll be enough." And she was right. The moment we stepped in, I saw the shift. People looked at me like they'd just realized I wasn't a ghost. Some smiled politely, others whispered. Then I saw Mom, talking to a group of relatives, fake laughing like always. And beside her, Jenny. Her eyes met mine, wide, alert. Like prey spotting a predator across the clearing. She looked thinner than before. Less shiny. No glam squad. No stage selfies. Just a girl in a dress too tight, with confidence too loose. I walked past them. Didn't pause, didn't nod, didn't smile. The ceremony started. Vows, rings, the usual. But I barely heard it, because I knew there would be a moment. Something would happen. And it did. At the reception, people gathered around this tall tiered cake and a mic stand. The bride's father gave a speech, then the groom, and then someone said, "Let's open the mic for anyone who wants to share a few words." My aunt nudged me. I shook my head, but someone else stood up. "Jenny!" She wobbled a bit in her heels, held the mic like it was a prop she'd forgotten how to use. "I just want to say," she started, her voice already shaky, "that family is everything. Even when we hurt each other, even when people try to paint us in a bad light online, real love can't be erased." My jaw tightened. I heard a few awkward chuckles, and then she said it. "I don't want to name names, but some people here know exactly what they've done, and I just hope they can live with themselves." Gasps, eyes turned. Some toward me, most toward her, because the irony? Everyone did know, and not in the way she hoped. Mia touched my arm. "You don't have to," but I stood up, walked slowly to the mic. No trembling, no theatrics, just quiet steps and a calm breath. I looked at Jenny, then at Mom, then at the crowd. "My name's Erica," I said. "Some of you haven't seen me in a while. I've been rebuilding." Pause, stillness. Even the music had stopped. I was the one who disappeared. Not because I ran away, but because I was erased. My work, my space, my efforts, taken and sold without a second thought. And I stayed quiet because I thought that was strength. People were fully locked in now. But silence isn't strength, it's survival. And I'm done surviving. I'm here now, standing, creating, thriving. Not to shame anyone, but to show that when you try to silence someone long enough, eventually they find a louder voice. A hush. Then something strange happened. Someone clapped. Then another. It wasn't a standing ovation. But it was enough. Enough to make Jenny's smirk melt. Enough to make Mom look away. Enough to feel done. I handed the mic back, walked back to my seat, and sat down, heart steady, hands warm. No triumph music, no slow clap movie moment. Just peace. After the wedding, Some cousins came over to talk. They didn't mention Jenny. They talked about my videos, how they'd been watching, how they never knew I had that in me. And all I could think was, I always had it in me. They just never looked. Jenny didn't approach me again. Mom didn't either. They left early, but before she went, Mom passed me with a tight smile and whispered, "You've changed." I didn't reply because I hadn't. I'd just finally shown them who I really was. It's been almost a year since the wedding. A year since I picked up that microphone, stood in front of them all, and told the truth they never wanted to hear. A year since I stopped needing their permission to matter. And life is good. Not glamorous, not filtered or aesthetic, but honest, quiet, mine. I moved into a little place of my own, small, sunlit, with just enough room for my studio, my books, and a balcony garden that I'm still learning not to kill. Mia and I still laugh about that night, sipping cheap wine like it's vintage. The channel? It grew. It exploded, actually. I crossed 500,000 subscribers a few months ago. Now people recognize my voice in cafes. A bookstore invited me to do a talk. And that indie studio? They optioned my story. A screenwriter sent me the first draft last week. I cried when I read it. Not because it hurt, but because it didn't. Not anymore. I get emails every day from strangers who feel like family. Not because we share blood, but because we share truth. And that's the difference, isn't it? Family isn't who you're born to. It's who sees you when you're invisible. Who stands by you when you say, "No more." As for Mom, she hasn't called in months. Not since that voicemail. I think, maybe for the first time in her life, she realized she couldn't guilt me back into silence. And Jenny? She tried to launch a podcast. It didn't last. Her brand cooled. Her deals disappeared. Her followers, they moved on. People always do when the shine fades. I don't wish her harm. I don't wish her anything, really. I think that's how I know I've healed. Because the opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference. Sometimes I think about the old me. The one who worked overtime, skipped meals, saved every penny, just for that setup. That girl thought proving her worth would earn her love. If I could talk to her now, I wouldn't say, "Don't buy it." I'd say, "Buy it, but don't give them the power to take it." I've learned that you can't control how people treat you, but you can control what you accept. And I don't accept being the background character in my own life anymore. So here I am, still telling stories, still growing, still quiet sometimes, but never silent. And if you're listening, if you've ever felt like the second choice in your own family, let me tell you something I wish someone told me sooner. You're not hard to love. You were just trying to bloom in the wrong garden. So plant yourself somewhere new. Water yourself with truth. Shine without apology. And one day, they'll look at you and say, "You've changed." And you'll smile. Because you finally became who you were meant to be all along. That's not revenge. That's freedom.